Welcome to the Wind Up with Will, everyone. I'm your host, Will, here with another episode. And today we're going to be talking about the WBC Final. I know it happened Tuesday night. It's been a very busy week. I probably could have done the video yesterday or sooner, but it's been a busy week, so I'm just now getting to it. But Venezuela and USA, they met in the WBC Final, the World Baseball Classic Final, Tuesday night. I had to watch the game super delayed. I had a men's group from church. So I finished watching the game at like 12:40 in the morning, way behind everyone else on it. It was a game that Venezuela won 3-2. And I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for you if you didn't know the score. Venezuela won the game 3-2. You know, it was a great game. It was a pitching. It was a pitcher's game. It was a pitcher's duel, and well, maybe not quite a duel because both teams use their bullpens quite a bit, but it was a barn burner. It was a close game, and late it got even closer, and it just seemed like this is a game destined for extra innings, and which should favor USA because they've got a deeper bullpen. But that's not how it shook out. So I'm just going to recap the scoring. And the starter for Team USA was Nolan McLean of the New York Mets, my favorite team. I was excited to see him on the WBC roster, and he did fairly well. He gave up some runs, though, in both of his starts in a short amount of innings. But this is normally spring training. At this point in the season, the hitters or maybe they might have a little bit more of an advantage because the pitchers aren't warmed up. Their pitches maybe aren't as crisp, and they're not getting to go as deep in games, so they're not really getting into a rhythm. So the batters hold maybe a slight edge at least early on. But as we saw as this tournament progressed, some of the games were more lower scoring. So I don't know, but it is very interesting. He's the pitcher that started the final for Team USA because this was a roster that had Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, but there's the whole thing of him not only wanting to pitch one game and then go reunite with the Tigers and not interfere with them interfering with his opening day start for the Tiger. Like it was just it was kind of like he was half in, half out on being on the Team USA roster. That caused some issues. They could have maybe had a better pitcher replace him that was fully committed the entire time. But if he was fully committed, Team USA, he would be the one making the start in the final. And who's to say that maybe he does give up 2 runs like Nolan McLean did? We don't know that, but it really feels like Nolan McLean should have started a different game. Maybe he should have started, I don't know, the game against Canada, and even if Tarek Subal's not on the team, maybe Nolan McLean should pitch the Canada game, and then Logan Webb you throw against the Dominican, or you throw Skeens against the Dominican, and you have Logan Webb for final. Now, the one issue though is I think McLean maybe threw too many pitches in the game against Italy, and that probably would have made him unavailable for um, the game against Canada. So let's go look at that again. That was Tuesday. How many pitches did he throw in that game? No, he was not in the Italy game. Was it? He was in one of the games. He started one of the pool play games. Was it Mexico? I'm blanking on what game he started in pool play. No, that was Skeens against Mexico. Was it Britain? Maybe it was Great Britain or Brazil. So he would have had enough time off from one of those games to have pitched. So he could have gone against Canada. And honestly, if I were Mark DeRosa, that's what I would have done. But we're going to recap the game first before I get into kind of the opinions on everything. So Nolan McLean started for Team USA, and then Eduardo Rodriguez started for Team Venezuela. He did not have a good ERA last year. I think his ERA was over 5 in Major League Baseball, but he performed a masterclass. Like he was pitching like this was Game 7 of the World Series, and like like he was just throwing gas. He was just throwing cheese. Like His fastballs were fastballs. He was throwing good breaking pitches. He was getting strikeouts, getting swings and misses. He only gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and 4 1/3 innings pitched. And it just looked like Team USA could not hit him. And they couldn't. But Venezuela got a few hits on McLean. They scored in the 3rd inning. Michael Garcia hit a sacrifice fly to center, scoring Salvador Perez. In the top of the 5th inning, Wilyer Abreu hit a solo home run to make it a 2-0 game. And it looked like for the longest time, I mean, Team USA just had 2 hits. They had 2 hits in the game for the longest time. It was Bryce Terang in the 3rd, and Harper had a single in the 6th. And then in what inning? Someone else got on. In the we go to the bottom of the 8th. Team Venezuela brings in what is this pitcher's name? Got the rosters pulled up in front of me. It's Andres Machado for Team Venezuela comes in the bottom of the 8th. Well, actually, he came in the 7th because he pitched an inning and a 3rd. And he gives up a walk. He gets 2 outs in the inning. He then gives up a walk to Bobby Witt Jr. And I think with 2 strikes in the count, Bryce Harper hits a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th to tie the game 2-2. I jumped up. I threw my hat. I was so excited. I was like, Team USA is coming back to win this game. And that's how I felt. We have the better bullpen, the better pitching overall. If we can get into extras, we can maybe wear through their bullpen and we can win the game. And I'm also thinking Mason Miller's coming in now as a tied game, and we shut them down top of the 9th. We can score in the bottom of the 9th and win the game, or we go to extras and our better bullpen we just outlast them. That's what I'm thinking, but that's not what Mark DeRosa was thinking because the San Diego Padres, which are Mason Miller's club, didn't want him pitching in a game that was not a save situation. So Mark DeRosa and Team USA obliged by that by not bringing him in. Instead, bringing in Garrett Whitlock, who had been okay, but Mason Miller hadn't given up a hit in every game he pitched. He pitched several games and hadn't given up a hit. And we're bringing in Garrett Whitlock. It's a tie game. You know, it's the final. You bring in your best relief pitcher here to shut them down. You have the momentum swung back your way. So we bring in Garrett Whitlock, which he had good stats as well. So I can't really blame DeRosa too much on that. But he didn't do well. He gave up a hit to who got on first? They had so many hits in this game. Oh, Luis Ariz. Well, he gave up a leadoff, not a hit. He gave up the lead. I'm sorry. He gave up a leadoff walk to Luis Ariz, and then they brought a player who I'm not familiar with at all. I gotta look this guy's name up because I'm probably going to butcher it, so I apologize. Where is he on their roster? Javier Sanoa, I think that's maybe how you pronounce it. His first name definitely is Javier. I'm guessing the last name is Sanoa. It's Sanoja. The J is always kind of silent in Spanish, so I'm going to say it's Sanoa. Javier Sanoa came in as pinch runner for Ariz because Ariz is not very fleet of foot. He's still second base. There's a very close play at second. The tag, and I thought he was out. And I think even on the replay, I think he's out because I think he gets tagged slightly. And this is the thing with some of these replays in sports is they don't show the frame by frame slow progression. What they do is they'll show you the replay where it's the initial play, but it's slowed down, and then they'll cut back and show it again, and from a different angle. Instead of, they have the technology to do this. Just slow it frame by frame where you see it slowly happen, then rewind it a frame or two, then move a frame or two forward, and you can tell what happens there. And I don't know if that's if they're doing that with the replay that the umpires are looking at, or or not. I'm just going off of what I saw on the television. The replay was not, they did not show a frame by frame on the television. It was really just a slowed down version of the live play zoomed in. Which is fine. I mean, that's better than nothing. But I think with the technology you have, you could show it slow down bit by bit, and we could probably see that it's. And I will say, it was a really close play, and they just stuck with the call on the field that the runner was safe. I felt that he was out. I felt on the replay that he was out, but the umpires obviously didn't think that there was enough there to overturn it. So they stuck, and the announcers didn't really make an issue of it. I've really heard no one else talk about it, but I think on the replay, I will say though, it is extremely close. So if he was called out, I think that would have stood as well. Because it's almost simultaneously. Like it's and I would like to see the replay again, slowed down more frame by frame, and maybe you could tell from that he was safe. But it's bang bang, like it's almost the same time. But so after replay, they say the call on the field stands, and then Eugenio Suarez, I always butcher his name, Eugenio Suarez, doubles him in to take the lead 3-2. And, you know, as once we were behind there, I was like, I don't think we're coming back to win it. We struggled to hit all night. Bryce Harper really did nothing all tournament. The 2-run home run was his moment, him running around the bases, being excited, yelling, pointing at USA on his jersey. I've got my Jurassic Park shirt on here, so it's not a great example, but he had pointing at USA, gets up, goes, "Yeah, let's go!" Like all the momentum and how the USA fans were acting, the momentum swung back their way. It was a majority, from what I've heard, it's a majority Venezuelan crowd there, and everything that's gone on politically between the USA and Venezuela over the last few months. That there's a lot more tension riding on this than just a baseball game, and it being the World Cup of baseball. There's some political tension here as well. I know Team Venezuela's tried to stay away from that, and their manager Omar Lopez has answered multiple times that they want this to be about baseball and unifying people, and I get that. But there is this other stuff going on in the background. But there's a ton of Venezuelans that live in Miami. They were the majority crowd in Miami. But when Bryce Harper hit that home run, the momentum swung. The USA crowd's loud. All the Team USA's out, and with that double by Eugenio Suarez, it just swung back the other way, and it's like Team USA, their offense was just so lifeless at that point. And it was like they're not going to do anything. They bring in Palencia. What is Danielle Palencia as their closer, and he shuts out Team USA, gets 2 strikeouts, and who is our last player to strike out? Roman Anthony, who was one of the heroes in the Dominican Republic game. Words. He struck out to end, and Venezuela storms the field. They've won the World Baseball Classic. You could see the tears of how the players were crying, reacting, how the fans were reacting. Videos of people actually in Venezuela watching the game. So it's just an awesome moment for them. And even though I'm an American, I was pulling for America and wanted America to win, and it was tough to see us watch and lose a second WBC final in a row. I give massive props to Team Venezuela. A very talented team. They didn't even win their pool, but they had a tough opponent, the Dominican Republic. They come back. They beat Team Japan in the quarterfinals. They beat Italy in the semifinals, and now they beat Team USA in the finals to win. Now, I guess I should say, because I don't think I made a video, I don't remember if I made a video on it or not, that in the semifinals, Team USA beat the Dominican Republic 2-1, and Venezuela beat Italy 4-2 in the semifinals. Italy actually had a lead earlier in that game. Yeah, they had a 2-0 lead before Venezuela stormed back. So it was almost a rematch of Italy and Team USA from pool play in the final, which that would have been quite the Cinderella run for Team Italy. But I got to give massive props to Venezuela. They just an awesome, very talented team. How much it means to those players. the country Venezuela, how much it's going to mean to baseball in Latin America, especially in Venezuela. And it's just great for the game as a whole that you see these other countries being able to compete with Team USA and win, how much that means for the growth internationally of the game. And I think the WBC the last 2 times around has definitely shown why baseball is the best sport. It has shown the world how great baseball is, how fun and exciting it can be. And I think it's made a lot more fans of Major League Baseball. And this is, I saw a video the other day where it was saying like this tournament alone has done more for the game of growing the game internationally than any international series of sending MLB teams to play in London or Europe or in Japan. Any of those, yes, I think those can grow the game because you get new fans, but having international tournaments like this bring more fans in because there's something about representing your country, and there's just a lot more passion in it and nationalism and or people might not like that word, but or patriotism for your country and representing it. And people want to do that. You've seen the way that the Venezuelans reacted. If you go watch how they celebrated, they're crying tears. How Taiwan, how they reacted after winning a pool play game, how their players are crying tears after winning. Like this means so much to the players. You see their reaction, their passion for it. I think this does nothing but grow the sport of baseball. This was a phenomenal tournament. I'm excited for the next WBC, but I'm also excited for Major League Baseball season, which starts this Thursday's opening day. But I believe we have a game Wednesday night. But I'm just going to pull it up. MLB schedule. Is this loading slow on me? Okay, yeah. So Wednesday night, March 25th, we have the Yankees at the Giants. That game is on Netflix, streaming on Netflix. That is the opening game. And then we have all the other games starting Thursday. So MLB season is right around the corner, and I think this is just a great segue into the Major League Baseball season, have the WBC right before it. But a few more things before I end the video. I just wanted to touch on Mark DeRosa is getting a lot of heat for Team USA from the fact that he supposedly didn't know that Team USA hadn't clinched before they played Italy, that they really needed to win against Italy and they didn't. The fact that seemingly to honor other teams' requests for the pitchers, the not bringing in Mason Miller to win, it just seems like he's very much kind of the safe corporate kind of manager of we've got to do things the right way. And Mark DeRosa is a great guy. He's a great analyst on Major League on MLB Network. But and I like DeRosa. I've grown to like him. I don't know how good of a manager he is, and especially for being Team USA in the WBC, the biggest sporting event, the biggest international sporting event for baseball, other than the Premier 12. The Premier 12 is pretty big as well. But this is essentially the World Cup of baseball. I think you would want a more experienced manager doing this. Someone like Bobby Valentine. I know Jim Lee. I think Jim Leland was the manager when Team USA won in 2017. You would want someone else. And there's also like people mentioning like maybe this tournament should be in the middle of the summer. I'm someone who would maybe agree with that. It would just take there's obviously be some logistical issues with that because you need to take a break in the middle of the season. But other sports do it. Hockey does it for the Winter Olympics. So I don't really know why other than the MLB owners not wanting that, thinking it would interfere with their season. But you'd also have to get Korea and Japan on board with it, the other two big professional leagues. I think Taiwan also has a professional league that plays in the summer. So you would need them to sign off on it. Most of the other leagues are winter leagues in Mexico, Panama, the Dominican. So those are their regular seasons wouldn't be interfered with because they're playing during the winter. But it is something to look at, and I think as this tournament continues to grow, maybe it is something they look at. I think there's going to maybe be tweaks in the future. I would like to see tweaks to the tie-breaking rules, but we'll see. It was a phenomenal tournament. I loved it. It's disappointing Team USA didn't win, but phenomenal tournament. I think it's great for the game of baseball, and congratulations to Venezuela for winning. Let me know your thoughts down below on the WBC Final, and are you excited for MLB opening day? I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.